It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 8 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some new exclusive first look images from the second half of Season 8 of The Walking Dead, the back half of Season 8. Most of these images are most likely coming from 809, and the rest are probably just images from throughout the second half, but most of them are basically mostly from the first episode. Now, as expected, most of these photos focus on Carl, which, like I said, is expected because he was obviously bit in the last episode in the mid-season finale, so he's gonna be basically focused a lot in this mid-season premiere because he's going to say his goodbyes to everybody, and this is going to be his farewell episode. He is basically going to leave in this episode. Just like the mid-season finale where there was a lot of focus on Carl with the images and promotional photos and everything like that before the episode aired, it's the same thing here. We have a lot of focus on Carl. So this first photo we have here is Carl being carried away by Michonne and Rick. So there's a burning building in the back and everything. So this is most likely right after, the Savior's attack. So this is the aftermath. Now what's interesting is that they're on top at ground level. Because if you remember, the last time we saw them, they were in the sewers. So this definitely shows that they do get out. But what's interesting is that obviously Rick and Michonne are carrying Carl away from the house. So do they go back to the house to maybe get some stuff or something like that? Or do they just want to go get supplies or something? I'm not sure. Not sure why Carl would be there. If he's bit, he's not in good condition to go with them to get supplies. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out and what this is all about. Next, we have another picture that focuses on Carl. This is basically right after where we left off with Carl being bit in the sewers. We see him laying down and Michonne is basically right there. This is actually very interesting because it does hint at Carl's death having some sort of impact on Michonne, which I did kind of have a standalone video and talked about. So it seems like this is definitely kind of pointing towards that speculation that I had, having some sort of weight as well, and maybe coming true in the second half. We have this amazing photo of Chandler Riggs as Carl, but we can't really tell where he is, but it definitely seems like there's smoke in the back. So next we have this photo of Carl writing this letter, writing this letter, writing this letter, writing this letter. This is obviously at the house, and this is most likely a flashback. If you remember in the mid-season finale, we had that one scene with Carl writing a letter when he was in the house before everything happened. So this seems to be a flashback of that. They're going to go back to that moment for some reason, and they might even reveal what he wrote in the letter. So this is most likely some sort of flashback. Very cool. Next we have some photos of Maggie. So it seems like Maggie is definitely featured in these photos as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how much of a presence she's going to have in the second half. We have Maggie obviously here. She's back at the hilltop, and we have Gracie in the background there in the crib. If you don't remember, Gracie is that baby that they found at that Savior outpost. Aaron took her back to hilltop. So we have Maggie here. Not sure what she's doing. She's writing something. Maybe she's writing a letter, just like Carl. Or maybe she's planning or something. Very interesting photo of her. Next, we have this other photo of Maggie. Again, she's at the hilltop, and she's holding her belly, which is very cool because at least now we're getting more and more hints that she's pregnant because, she's not showing. So at least we're getting some sort of indication that the baby is coming along, and that maybe we will see something with Maggie and the baby in the second half. So it's going to be very interesting. Next, we have this very interesting photo of Ezekiel sitting down, and we have someone in front, most likely Gavin, and they're most likely at the kingdom, and they're just talking. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Ezekiel at the kingdom and whether Morgan is going to come and save the day. Speaking of Morgan, the last photo we have is of Morgan himself, and we have him here. This is probably at the kingdom. It seems like someone's in the background, but we can't really tell who it is. But very cool photo. Now, Morgan is another one of those characters that we have to focus on during the next couple episodes. And he's basically going to be the focus of the second half because come season 9, he might not be in The Walking Dead anymore for whatever reason, because he does transition or cross over to Fear the Walking Dead for season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. So Morgan is definitely an interesting character to watch in the second half of season 8 to see whether he lives, whether he dies, and where his story goes, and whether we will get some sort of indication of how he's going to end up in Fear by the end of season 8 or not. Very interesting photos. I'm very excited for the second half to come. It can't come sooner. Now again, all of these photos come from Entertainment Weekly, so you can go there and check out the photos in higher definition. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.